Kentucky Lake, fabulous Kentucky Lake on the Tennessee River. Long time a great destination for bass fishing at the highest level, for bass tournaments at the highest level. And we're going to the highest level this time around. It is the Mossy Oak Fishing Bassmaster High School National Championship presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. I'm Tommy Sanders. Welcome to the Bassmaster Studios. Tommy Sanders along with Ronnie Moore. And Ronnie, 13,000 bass members in high schools all across the country, 1,300 bass clubs. The best of them are here to shoot for a national championship.
Every year, so many people compete to make it to this point. We take 10% from the high school series, 250 plus boats this year, and they're competing for the biggest prize in their series, the high school national championship. You want to be the one to take it home, and it's going to make your career and propel you into the college series.
As we say, this is a big event, a national championship, so why not? Let's have it once again at Kentucky Lake. That's the final impoundment on the Tennessee River, and it is vast. A huge handful to negotiate for these high school teams. Man, oh man, you think about 160,000 acres of water surface. It's a very mature lake, completed back in 1944, and it has been the traditional venue for this championship, although we've got several changes in Kentucky Lake, and we'll get into that a little bit later. But Ronnie, one thing this event has in common with the past two high school national championships are these guys right here.
We've seen Briarwood Christian each and every year. 2018, when they won the national championship in a small backwater area in the summertime, they got it done, and then we saw it translate the next year, same time of the year, a lot more boat pressure, but they were able to adjust and figure it out. But this time, Tommy, like you said, a different time of year, not in July, not in August, but in October, and so that means Kentucky Lake's in a change. The fall transition, water is much lower on the lake, the water level that is, and then other factors like largemouth and smallmouth, which one will factor this week?
22 pounds, 2 ounces, and Briarwood Christian is going to take over the lead. Let's hear it for them, your new leaders, Briarwood Christian.
Beautiful mixed bag, as you can see right there. We'll talk about the natures of the limits and less than limits that are coming in, Ronnie Moore, but what a great day. And there's a little bit of a difference now this year because Briarwood Christian, we have a new second team member to Tucker Smith in the form of Hinnemeyer, but boy, they picked up right where they've left off the last 2 years. Look at that knockout, day number one.
Yeah, Grayson Morris moved on to college at University of Montevallo, but Briarwood picking up, like you said, Tucker Smith, he knows what he's doing. Hayden Marbett, obviously a great teammate for him, and they're in the top spot by almost 5 pounds.
So the sun rises on day number 2. On this day, we'll have the full field again, just under 250 teams. For Briarwood Christian, this team more than ready to go.
Well, we started off yesterday running a few spots in practice that we found in practice, and didn't really work out too well. We looked down at the graph and found a little spot, and we kind of trolled over to it, and we made 5 casts and caught those 5 big ones really quick. So we're going to see what happens today, and hopefully we can do it again.
Yeah, we're just walking the spook up and down the bars pretty much. Throwing a couple other baits, like a whopper plopper and stuff, but our main thing's the spook, really.
I think we need to catch probably 13, 14 pounds, and I think we'll be good.
Well, hey, let's not mince words. When you win this giant event 2 years in a row, we're going to start talking dynasty. And now with a new partner for Tucker Smith in the form of Hayden Marbett, it will be very interesting to see where this team picks up and if they can be dominant a 3rd year in a row. They've certainly got themselves off to a perfect start with that 22-2 and a big margin over the rest of the field.
And everybody's probably looking and wondering, where is Briarwood going to start? We've seen them in the same area of Kentucky Lake the last 2 years, but like we said, 4 or 5 feet lower on Kentucky Lake the water level is, and it's heading into that fall transition. So we're going to go north from takeoff right there in Paris, Tennessee, and we're going to go north towards Blood Creek on the main river of Kentucky Lake. And Tommy, bars are a place, if you don't know what bars are, it's like a ledge, but just way off the bank, but it's very shallow, 1 to 4 feet of water. So these guys are throwing what they like to throw in Alabama, a lot of top water around late October.
I think I just hit one's back.
Do what?
I think I just ran over one.
Did you?
I think I got one.
There we go. There.
It's something. I'm fishing this bar out here.
We just had to throw a rattle trap at them because they're short striking the spook because it's so windy out here.
This is my third year and won the past 2 years, so to win a third time would be pretty crazy. But just to be able to get out here in a different time of year and figure them out, it's really cool because the last 2 years was in August. So to figure it out in October would be pretty awesome. There's another.
Come on this side.
Get him right here. Right there.
There we go.
They're biting, boys.
There we go. I might have to pick up a trap now.
Keep casting it.
I'm gonna keep those top water though.
Couldn't be a better start. Quality in the boat early. Already have a 10-pound lead over second place Lee County High School and Briarwood. Definitely going to work on this day.
Yeah, Tommy, they're actually making another adjustment. They've been leaning on top water, but you're seeing a lipless crankbait come into play early on day 2 for them, already adjusting.
The Mossy Oak Fishing Bassmaster High School National Championship presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors is brought to you by Academy Sports and Outdoors and by Mossy Oak Fishing.
Welcome back. It's the Mossy Oak Fishing Bassmaster High School National Championship presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. This is day 2 competition once again on this day. We have a full field, 248 teams from all over the country competing on this legendary body of water, 160,000 plus acres, the last impoundment on the Tennessee River before it flows into the Ohio and then onward to the Mississippi. But the main thing, it has been legendary for bass fishing low these many years. A mature lake built back in 1944, and this is a very mature team, and they first showed themselves to us in 2018, Briarwood Christian, Ronnie.
Yeah, you wonder when you see a team rise up and win a tournament, is this going to be their shining moment and then you won't hear from them often again? But that's not the case for Tucker Smith, Grayson Morris. These guys figured it out. They relied on what they knew. This was a younger team back in the day. This was 3 years ago, and they were leaning on the techniques that they grew up fishing around the Coosa River back in Alabama, throwing those chatterbaits, fishing some worms and some topwaters and things like that. And then as you see them grow each and every year, they expand and begin to learn a little bit more about themselves, about other techniques, and how to win tournaments. And we saw that in 2019 when they did it once again.
Well, there's been an explosion as far as the information available to everyone wanting to get better at bass fishing through the years. These high school students are very, very savvy. They have got experience, poise, and polish for sure.
These guys don't want to just fish in high school and then go find a day job. These guys want to make fishing their day job, and so they do that early on high school, take it to the college level, and then hopefully the Opens and then the Bassmaster Elite Series. But for these two guys, we saw Grayson Morris lead that team as the elder statesman. He graduated, went to Montevallo, and is fishing in college there. Tucker held that torch, carried that flag this year, and now he is going to be a freshman at Auburn. So this is his last year to compete in the championship, and he would love to go out as a back-to-back-to-back national champion. And they're going to have to do it a little different. We saw that establishing shot, a lower water level at Kentucky Lake the fall. Same old Kentucky Lake, but a lot of different things coming into store this year for 2020.
Watch out, watch out, watch out. Oh my God. There's another one. Get in the boat, son, please. Please get in the boat. Come on. Get him right here, baby. Come on. Let's go.
Yes, sir. There we go.
Throw back in there. There's a school of them right there.
Fire it up.
You think you wanted that thing? Go to the right. Don't get on top of it.
Very clear game plan for Briarwood Christian. You alluded to this earlier, Ronnie. You think of Kentucky Lake, you think of ledge fishing. This is not exactly that. We're talking about sand and gravel bars out here that can be way far offshore.
That's exactly what's happening, Tommy. These bars are like those mini ledges, just shallower, but schools of fish will still pull up there to feed on bait, largemouth and smallmouth, and we see them mixed in early for Briarwood. And as we take it over a little bit different, fishing docks and all of the shallow cover, whatever cover is in the water for this Lee County team from Georgia, they're obviously putting in work after a good day one.
Yeah, Flint Davis and James Hinnemeyer, no slouches either. They 17 pounds and 3 ounces. That's pretty strong for day number 1 of competition out here. Just such a deficit they start out with to the team from Briarwood Christian.
I just want to win one for our school. You know, last year was the first year they started it for our school, and we got 6th in annual of the year, and only fished half the tournaments, and we got 2nd at state at Clarks Hill. So to bring home one of these would be awesome for our school, and hopefully get them known to everybody around. Yeah. Right where I said I didn't throw.
Well, just like we see at the very top level with the Bassmaster Elite Series, we are delighted when we see some diversity, some different ways to get to that final destination, and we certainly seeing it there with Lee County. Fishing some boat docks out there today, but the story still this team right here.
Yeah, Tommy, on day 1, Tucker Smith, Hayden Marbett, they went to their starting area and they pulled up on the bar where they'd caught a couple fish, and it just wasn't happening. And Tucker looked at his graph, saw a little indention in the bar where it was a little drop or a little deep spot, and they trolled up to it, and within 5 casts, they had their day 1 weight, had a big lead, and that has been key because that is where the fish have been positioned, and now they can hunker down and hit that spot as many times as possible.
Uh-oh. We need to get off this spot right after this one.
I don't know. Nah.
It might cool. Bring him right here.
It might cool.
Pull that on. Yeah.
Really?
I think so.
I got it. We're not fishing no more?
No.
Yeah. Save it for tomorrow.
Yeah. Let's see. It's right there. Yeah, it's.
Is it?
Sure. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
That one, yeah.
Came out easy for us.
There you go, your new leaders, Briarwood Christian, Tucker Smith, and Hayden Marbett. 17 pounds, 5 ounces, and back into first place, Briarwood moves.
All right, they got those 2 quality smallmouth earlier, went on to fill out their limit at 17.5 for Briarwood Christian. Certainly bolstering that lead and looking better and better moving into the final day. There's your official leaderboard. After 2 days of fishing, Lee County from Georgia, Brownsburg, Childs High School from Florida in the mix as well, Lawrence County from right here in Tennessee, and all the rest. Scotts Hill, Mount Pleasant, Mount Juliet, another Tennessee team, and Jackson County High School. Congrats to all those teams who will be moving into the final when we return. Well, this is the day we've been waiting for, the 3rd day of competition, which is the championship final day. And already you can see changes are afoot. Plenty of challenges fishing a different time of year on Kentucky Lake. And we saw the wind start to pick up on day number 2, and you knew that weather was about to change, and surely it has. So we will keep track of that all day long. That will certainly figure in the decision-making of these 10 teams who have gained the final, led by Briarwood Christian, trying to win their 3rd in a row. Followed up by Lee County High School, Brownsburg from Indiana, Childs High School from Florida, and on down the list. Freedom High School and Lawrence County from Tennessee.
There's a lot of different teams from a lot of different places, and that's what happens in the fall. A lot of weather changes, and a lot of these areas shine.
Well, we got to catch 5 fish, and it's really cold and windy, but I think we can make it happen. We'll see how it goes.
Oh yeah, it's completely different than yesterday.
If it works out or it's blown out, we're gonna move around a little bit. But I think the temperature drop could help, and it could hurt really bad. But we're just gonna have to find out in a second. So.
It meant a lot just from how much time we put into this, because I mean we came up here before it went off limits and spent five days on the water practicing every day, daylight to dark, and then the 2 days of official practice this week. So it meant a lot, and a lot of work would pay off.
It'd mean everything. I mean, it'd be, another dream come true for the third one. Winning 2 is amazing, but winning the third one would just kind of be crazy. Especially it being this time of year, it's completely different. So to figure them out on this lake, a different time of year, and actually pulling it off would be pretty incredible.
Oh boy, a lot of obstacles potentially in the way today, but so many opportunities. And you know that all these 20 anglers, these 10 teams, could not be more thrilled to be in this final as we track our defending champions, Briarwood Christian.
And Tommy, they're going to switch it up. They're going to go south where they ended day 2. We're going to start south with them to start day 3. One thing that's tough about Kentucky Lake, it's such a big fishery, so with a direct north wind, it's going to make navigating a little tough, and they might not have a lot of time to get to their other areas.
Wind, change in temperatures, that's going to alter any good fishing spot. You can be counting on that.
This is the worst conditions ever. It's freezing. It's tough. I think it's going to be tough on the other teams, too. If they catch 5 big ones in this weather, then I'll give them a pat on the back.
It's definitely going to be a grind today.
I look like a blueberry now. We'll probably run back up that way. Later in the day when the wind calms down, and fish a couple more spots that we fished yesterday. And see from there. And if that doesn't work, we're gonna have to run like protected points and stuff.
Moving around, making decisions on the fly, that's what today is going to be all about. Let's take a look now at a team that started in 41st place on day number 2, caught 18-1 to make it all the way into 4th place. From Tallahassee area in Florida, this is Blake and Logan Sparkman.
Really excited to be here, really thankful for Florida Bass Nation and Glenn Kay on the job he does with this program. And if it wasn't for this program, we wouldn't have the opportunity to be here. These 2 guys have been working really hard for the last 4 years for this guy, 3 years for this guy to get here, and it is a tough road. They face some really stiff competition in the Florida Bass Nation Trail, and just fortunate enough to get here in the first place. And then yesterday to work as hard as they did, and to happen to be here on the last day is just a blessing, and something they've been dreaming about. And hopefully we can go out. They can go out today and at least catch a fish and take it one cast at a time, and maybe lightning will strike twice, and bring in a good bag today.
Oh, big one, dude. That's a big one. Oh, Logan, you better get that. Drop your rod, dude. Drop your rod. Quit fish. That's a freaking tank. That is a tank, dude.
Bring it over here. Bring it over here. Don't worry about showing. Don't worry about showing.
This is a giant, dude. This is an 8-pounder. Oh, it's a goddamn hybrid. Ooh. Damn. Yeah. Had a pretty big old striper come up and blow up on my bait pretty close to the boat. And where he actually blew up is kind of, we're on a ledge right now, and it's kind of where the ledge actually drops off, gets a little deeper. It's about probably 15 feet where he hit. But even though it wasn't the species of bass we were looking for, that does give me a good bit of hope for this spot, because if they're active like that, then the fish that we want will be active. But I'm glad that it did come up for top water, because that's what produced the big bite yesterday. So I'm hoping it'll do the same today.
Wasn't the right flavor, but hey, you got to say, let's do whatever we can to get warmed up, to get that feel going, get your line stretched a little bit. So for Blake and Logan Sparkman, they will fish on, try to, as their coach says, catch some lightning in a bottle today, as we get our first look at Dylan May and Adam Troyer from Brownsburg High School.
Day 2 was a little bit of a struggle for us because we didn't get that morning bite. We went out as boat 211, so we didn't get there quite as early as day 1. So we really caught them spread out throughout the day, and we had to grind to get those bites. Fish. It's a good one.
Oh, yeah.
There we go, baby.
That's a keeper.
I can feel my hands now.
Ah, you're good. It's been going good. I mean, we've caught a limit both days. Caught, a lot of fish each day. I think we culled once on day one, so we're just gonna go out and try to catch another limit today. That'll keep. Yep.
I think even with this cold front coming through, we're fishing shallow, so our fish should stay there. So I think we can catch a few of them still.
Oh, no.
Nope, these are the big ones.
Don't grab my green pumpkin purple, because I only got. Don't grab the green pumpkin purple.
Why?
Because that's the one I'm using.
So?
That's my last one. You used the other ones. That's what you just caught one. Big. Number 3, to the freaking fat. Choked it. I think this cod cover could help it out a little bit and not let that sun get up and get the heat really going, and could keep those fish shallow still. We had one boat on day one that came in here, and then others started kind of coming in later. But then day 2, when we had that late boat number, we had about 3 or 4 boats that were in this little area. And over there, that's really shallow, so it's not much you can fish over there other than a few stake beds. So really a lot of people were fishing this. And so, I mean, we spent 3 hours here on that bridge the first day, trying to catch us our number. We caught, just like we did today, caught 4. And we were trying to catch number 5 and we just couldn't. So we finally just called it and we left that area. But now that there's no boats over here, I think we can definitely fish this up and down and catch another keeper.
Tommy, if you touch my green pumpkin purple, I'm gonna just come over there and rebuke you. It's obviously working for the Brownsburg team right now, Tommy.
Yeah, a little sibling rivalry kind of keeps things fired up, and this team, hey, hats off to them. They've been super consistent, 12 pounds and change each of the first 2 days, and that actually afforded them a jump from 7th all the way up into 3rd to start this day in this high school national championship. The Mossy Oak Fishing Bassmaster High School National Championship, presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. What a gorgeous fall day here. It is on Kentucky Lake. What a great fishing destination that always presents great opportunities and great hurdles to overcome for these best of the best high school anglers. And we are right in the thick of this national championship right now. We're down to the small field today, 12 teams out here versus 250 running more for the first 2 days of competition. And things are changing. The conditions are different.
These guys have gotten here 5, 6, 7 days ago and have seen Kentucky Lake change weather-wise, and we are in that late October. October 24th, the final day, that fall transition in the south begins to happen, and we're seeing that weather rear its head. Heavy winds, cold temperatures. It's going to blow out some of the areas. Teams will have to make an adjustment on this final day if they want to catch the leaders and maybe have a chance at taking home a national championship, and we see one team doing that already this morning, Brownsburg, with an early start to their day.
Yeah, Dylan May, Adam Troyer, again, very, very consistent throughout this tournament so far, and that counts for a lot. They had 12 and change on day 1, had a 12-15 on day number 2, which is very strong. Actually moved them up in the standings from 7th place to 3rd place.
We've been catching all our fish on a Snack Daddy tube, a baby elite tube. Just green pumpkin colors, and then we're chartreuse tipping the tail. to kind of brighten out and make it stand out in the water. And we've been they've been just swallowing the tube, so they're loving it. And we've been catching all our fish this week on this and a Senko. So that's what it's called, a stupid tube. That rig is called a stupid tube. It just glides in the water. It's a weedless tube and something these fish haven't seen. Fig? Fig? Oh, that's gonna be close, I think.
Yeah, he's gonna be close.
No, never mind.
Small.
It's a small one.
Choked it.
It's good news that that's a bite.
Eating it pretty good.
What? He ate it?
That one's not going to make a keeper. Dylan May and Adam Troyer at Brownsburg, though, hats off to them. Found a boat in their spot today and fished on, and they're making progress. Let's get back over to Childs High School.
Oh, one missed it. Oh, Blake, come on. Got him. That's a big one. That's a big one, dude. That's a real big one, dude. That's the one that's a good one. Oh, that's a good largemouth, dude. That's a good largemouth. Get that net in the water. Don't use that. I got him side hook too. Oh, that's a big one, dude. He's very not hooked good. That's what we're talking about, dude. That's what I'm talking about, dude.
Good fish.
Woo! Let's go, dude.
Nice job, guys. Good fish. That's a good one, dude.
Yeah.
Hey.
Woo!
Let's get him in the line.
Oh, I thought I messed it up too, and I.
Good. Yes.
We want 4 more of those right there.
Get it in, get it out there.
Woo! Let's go. Right on that bar, right where we were catching that one yesterday. Right where we're fishing another shell bar, and it's real shallow. Right where I was throwing, it's about maybe 3 foot on the shell bar, and then right behind it, you got about 2 foot of water, maybe like a foot of water, ankle deep. So I was just throwing past the shell bar, trying to get it in that ankle deep water. And actually, right where I was throwing is where I hooked up on my first one yesterday. So, I just threw back up in there and just working it, and he popped it one time, and he didn't get it, so I kept working it. He hit it one more time, and I actually messed up on the second time he hit it. I pulled it from him, but I got lucky, and he came back for it, and he ate it. So what we're fishing right here is, so yesterday the wind was actually blowing the opposite direction, so it was coming this way at us, and where I hooked up on that striper, there's a point right there, and there's a point up there, and the wind just blows perfectly into it, where it blow bait fish and other types of fish that the bass will eat and feed on. So throwing it right over that shell bar, coming off that edge, it's just a good place for them to hit. And this shell bar has a wall like the first spot did too. It's just a real steep drop off.
Blake and Logan Sparkman, Childs High School, one of fully 17 teams from Florida, and they are certainly getting the best of it among the Florida teams, and really an outstanding performance. Let's now take a look. James Hinnemeyer, Flint Davis, Lee County High School from Georgia. Great day one, 17-3. Outstanding weight for day number one, albeit about 5 pounds back of the leaders, Briarwood Christian, and struggling here on the final day.
Net. They're gonna be short. Measure them though, Dad. Don't just throw them back.
Where'd you put the board? In there?
Size limit is very important this week. 15 inches for largemouth and smallmouth. And Tommy, we've seen a lot of these teams, the ones who are going for limits have that 12 to 13 pound bag at Kentucky Lake this week, but those ones who are catching the bigger fish, Childs, Briarwood, those are there at Kentucky Lake. So 15 inches for a keeper, that's not going to help them there. But as we go over to Tucker Smith and Hayden Marbett, they're trying to adjust a little bit of adversity thrown the team's way with the changeup in weather on this final day.
Years past, of course, we've already designated them a dynasty, and they have proved it. 2 consecutive victories, going for the 3rd.
Yep. Just play him easy. Play him easy. Play him easy, bro. Just play him easy. Play him easy. Play him easy. Let's go, baby! Woo! Yes, sir. Yes! That's a big one. Woo, sir.
Hi, boy.
Let's go. Woo.
That's what we need.
I know.
We just caught one probably about 3 pounds on a rattle trap. We've been sitting here for like, what do you think, 30 minutes?
Yeah, at least 20 minutes.
We might be able to get them fired up now.
How fast were you on it?
Pretty fast.
Huh?
Pretty fast. I was moving it on along over it.
A weather switch up. Obviously, it's hard to throw topwater in 2 to 3 foot waves, Tommy, and so a switch up right there, the Strike King 2-tap, sexy shad color, that's been key for them. Smallmouth and largemouth have been biting it. It's a good adjustment on this final day.
You got big smallmouth right there. They are a little bit behind schedule. They've been on for the past 2 days, but of course, what helps a whole lot? Having a 10-pound lead to start your final day. And now they seem to be right back on track. Briarwood on the move on the final day. Legendary Kentucky Lake for this Mossy Oak Fishing Bassmaster High School National Championship. Presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. We are into the final 12 teams on Championship Day. Not the only trophy to be handed out this week. Of course, the Bassmaster Junior National Championship contested nearby.
And with that comes a $2,500 scholarship to the anglers, presented by the Director of Marketing of Mossy Oak, Mr. Dustin Whitaker.
Hey, hats off to Ray County's Turner Tharp and Blake James, winning that junior championship over on Carroll County Reservoir, not too far from Paris Landing here. Right now, we're back to the business at hand. A little bit of a dynasty business when we talk about Briarwood Christian.
Hayden Marbett, Tucker Smith, these guys, we know what they've done in past years with different partners and whatnot, the success that Briarwood has had. And as you see, Tommy, we were in a late summer tournament just a day ago. Shorts, t-shirts, warm conditions, topwater was really thriving on those bars. Those guys found this on day one. They had an area of the lake where bars were playing for them. They didn't get any bites. They see a little indention on their graph, see it in the little contours. They go up there and fish it, and they have maximized it to its full potential, leading going into the final day. And they've faced adversity, but they've overcome.
Get in the boat, son, please. Please get in the boat. Let's go.
Yes, sir. There we go.
Throw back in there. There's a school of them out there.
Fired up.
You think you wanted that thing?
Very, very impressive, Tommy, to see how these guys have adapted and adjusted. They had a spot 20 minutes north of takeoff. They had a spot 20 minutes south of takeoff, and they've managed them well despite the changing weather. And throwing topwater in the fall is a common occurrence, but they've also mixed in that lipless crankbait when it hasn't been going for them. Obviously, throwing topwater in 2 to 3 foot waves, not conducive. We've seen them mix in that lipless crankbait today. And with one fish in the live well earlier, they're needing some more to make sure their lead lasts.
Let's go, baby! Woo!
Yes, sir.
Yes! That's a big one.
Woo, sir.
Yeah, boy.
Let's go. Woo.
That's what we need.
I know. We're sitting here the rest of the day.
I got nothing better to do.
Had to spend a long time waiting them out, but Briarwood, that's how they got on the board. A very exceptionally slow morning owing to the conditions. Another team that's been dealing very well with the condition, Blake and Logan Sparkman, the brothers fishing for Childs High School, the Tallahassee, Florida area. They got off to a good start today as well.
Biggin.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's not. Woo. Just that, don't grab the line. A16. He's smaller, but he's about 2 pounds, 2.5, so it'll definitely help us out a lot. We just probably may have about 7 or 8 pounds now, depending on how big that first one is. So hopefully we can pick up another fish here shortly, but I'm hoping for at least one more just to stay going as same as we did the other day. If we can't pull anything else out of here, we're gonna make a run backing up north. We got one more place we wanna try that's still in the river. If that doesn't pull out, we may try a couple more cuts between the tree lines, just going up north, and then go back to the spot we went to in the morning, try that out again. And then there's a place that's right on the other side of the bridge, right from the landing, that we may try. But I still feel good about today. I don't think that these two fish are gonna be our last. So I think that we're gonna be able to pull off at least another one. We may pull off 2 more, or make a full limit, but I don't know, we just gotta keep fishing and just trust what the water gives us.
Well, Blake and Logan Sparkman, obviously they've got their game plan. Obviously they have great minds for bass fishing. That's due to time on the water, of course. And hats off to them. Man, got that big one. Had some disappointments along the way as well. Not every fish makes it into the boat, but they're getting the full experience here, Ronnie.
Yeah, either way, it's been a great event for them, a top 5 nonetheless. And this team, hey, if you're not going to get a bunch of bites, Tommy, they better be the right size. And they've seen 3 of them, even though one was a non-bass, all 3 good size here at Kentucky Lake to have you in contention.
We're getting closer and closer to the final reckoning, the awarding of a national championship here on Kentucky Lake. Don't go away.
The Mossy Oak Fishing Bassmaster High School National Championship, presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors, is brought to you by Academy Sports and Outdoors and by Mossy Oak Fishing.
Familiar scene to big bass fishing fanatics the world over. The lake, the environment's a fantastic Kentucky Lake for this Mossy Oak Fishing Bassmaster High School National Championship. Presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. We had the full field of 250 teams, or just under 250 from all over the country, fished the first 2 days, and now we are down to 12 teams on the final day. Big story, of course, was the big lead held by this team, the Dynasty. Briarwood Christian from the Birmingham, Alabama area.
We saw him take it home in 2018 and 2019, doing very similar things in very similar areas on Kentucky Lake. But Tommy, we've done this national championship enough to know every year it seems like Kentucky Lake's different anglers rise up in different areas of the lake, different regions, and different techniques come into play. And now that the time slot's been moved to the fall, October time period, we're definitely seeing a diverse Kentucky Lake, despite some of the tough weather that's thrown their way on this final day for the Briarwood team.
Definitely slower on this final day with all those changing conditions. One fish in the boat, but now it appears Briarwood hooked up with number 2.
Let's go, boys! Right here, right here. Woo! Here, buddy. He ate one of the 3.
Yet another really good keeper smallmouth for this team from Briarwood. Again, they've struggled a bit today. Definitely tougher conditions, but they've had the patience. As we said before, a 10-pound lead to start the day helps bolster your patience a little bit. It keeps the anxiety down. But 2 good, strong smallmouth, and they're definitely looking good. The other team really on the move today, the Indiana team from Brownsburg High School, Dylan May and Adam Troyer.
That's right, Tommy. Hey, the best thing at Kentucky Lake lately is consistency, and this team from Brownsburg being ever so consistent each and every day of this tournament, and that has helped them stay in contention going to this final day, but they're gonna need a big bite. They've maximized this area, this specific stretch of this bridge, and their baits, they've managed the baits. They're running out of lures, Tommy, but they need a big bite or 2 if they want to catch Briarwood.
Definitely been the most consistent. Pure consistency counts, 12 pounds and change each and every day. But you're right, they got to break through. They got a big mountain to climb.
Big. Number 3 to the freaking fat.
Choked it.
As we take a look right there at one of their biggest fish of this final day, Brownsburg just ever so consistent. You can't state that enough on a fishery that has changed so much like Kentucky Lake over the years. Staying consistent, and this duo is fishing it out to the end, giving it their all.
Yep. That one's gonna go. I think so. Oh yeah, 16 1/4. Number 4.
So there with 4 fish in the boat still, where they've got to have some size show up, and at the very least, this team from Indiana is going to have to get a limit.
Yes! Yes!
Number 5.
Number 5.
Get it down.
Right off this corner.
The time goes by so fast, especially on the final day. Hats off to Brownsburg as being the only team to come in here with a limit, but all these guys overcame some big changes overall. 4 feet lower for the lake, fish not in their usual haunts at all. These guys did the best job of adapting.
This is truly a culmination of all the hard work for 2020, all of the events they've fished in, all the ones they've qualified to get here, and now you practice all week, you figure it out, and you're throwing a curveball on the final day. Brownsburg, like you said, Tommy, the only team on the final day with a limit. Will it be enough? Their consistency, but either way, a great final day of the season for the top 12 teams to make the final day here at the Mossy Oak National Championship.
All right, we are down to the final 3 teams in this tournament. This team has 25-10. They were in 3rd place coming into today. They have 5 fish in their bag. Come on up from Brownsburg High School, Dylan May and Adam Troyer. 5 in your bag. 12 pounds, 4 ounces. Going to take you to 2nd place. It's going to be a great finish for you with 37-14. The hot seat is still empty. All right. 2nd place coming into today, Lee County High School. Coming up, Flint Davis and James Hinnemeyer, 1 fish in your bag. 1 fish for 2 pounds, 10 ounces. Going to take you to 5th place, guys. So let's hear it one time for Flint and James out of Leesburg, Georgia, Lee County High School. Just want to come up, not even having to weigh in. Let's bring them up, your 2020 national champions, without even having to fish on the final day, Briarwood Christian Academy. And that is going to be, for the first time ever, a three-peat for Briarwood Christian Academy. Can we say a dynasty has formed in that school in Birmingham, Alabama?
Tucker Smith, Hayden Marbut, Briarwood Christian, 3rd consecutive National High School Championship. It's really hard to get your mind around that considering the size of these fields, the size of this country, and all the fervor for high school bass fishing. But boy, they have a dynasty. Yes, absolutely a dynasty, and not just this year, but for 3 years now. Ronnie, we talked about having arrived. Since 2013, this high school championship has existed. And the fact that we do have a dynasty is really good evidence that, man, this is getting big time.
We're witnessing utter dominance 3 years in a row to win a national championship. And you can, discredit the first 2 if you wanted to. The same week of the year, summertime, they went to the same areas and they did it. Well, not the case this year. Late October, totally different fishing conditions. The lake was much lower. They had to adjust, and they went and did that. Had such a big lead going into the final day. It blows my mind, the skill of some of these anglers, and they did it on their own. They went and had to practice on their own. Their boat captain, JT, ended up showing up for the tournament and said, hey, where are we going, guys? And they took him to it wasn't the case where the elder statesman in the boat helped the team out. They led themselves, and they took home a 3rd national championship in a row. Impressive.
Well, Tucker Smith, the common denominator in all those 3 national championships, he will not be around last year. He's aged out of the program. So what's ahead of this team right here, Briarwood? People are still going to look to him for leadership.
Well, I know that the Carhartt Bassmaster College Series is looking over here at Tucker Smith, and it's like, is he going to now make an impact on our league? But for Briarwood, it's one of those deals. They now understand what it takes to win a championship. Grayson Morris, Tucker Smith won the first 2. They passed the torch. Tucker and Hayden win it. Now Hayden will get the opportunity to lead maybe a 4th championship in a row for Briarwood Christian right there in Birmingham. A great fishing area. It just proves, Tommy, time on the water overrules anything. If you're young, if you're new to the sport, spend as much time on the water fishing, learning, and you will have the opportunity to be a national champion.
Yeah, you get to display the poise and polish that we always talk about, and a tribute to these high school anglers. Thanks for joining us this year, 2020, for the High School National Championship, and we will see you next time.
Here we go. They're biting, boys.
Briarwood Christian Academy. Can we say a dynasty has formed in that school in Birmingham, Alabama?